Why is it that the more desperately we want something, that dream job, a loving partner, financial security, or even a specific outcome, the more it seems to elude us, like sand slipping through tightly clenched fingers? Have you felt that? That paradoxical pushback when your desire becomes intense, almost overwhelming? You invest every ounce of your being, visualize, affirm, strive, and yet things stall or move in the opposite direction. It's a common human struggle, a source of immense frustration and confusion. And then, perhaps even more mystifying, are those moments when you finally let go, surrender out of sheer exhaustion or a shift in perspective, and bam, the very thing you were chasing suddenly lands in your lap. What's really going on here? Is some cosmic law at play? Or is it rooted deeply in our psychology and energy? And most importantly, how can we learn to navigate our desires more skillfully? How can we become magnets for the good things in life without falling into the trap of desperate clinging? These questions touch upon profound truths explored in countless self-development books, ancient wisdom traditions, and modern psychology. Today, we're not just scratching the surface, we're going deep, expanding significantly on concepts we might have touched upon before, bringing in more research, more philosophical insights, more actionable techniques, and drawing connections between ideas like calmness, acceptance, the power of giving, subconscious programming, gratitude, perception, and even related concepts like self-compassion and mindfulness. Think of this as a comprehensive masterclass drawn from the collective wisdom found in transformative books. We aim to unravel this paradox and equip you with a rich toolkit of insights and strategies to consciously create a life filled with more ease, flow, and fulfillment. So settle in and keep that wonderfully open mind ready, because the journey we're taking today can fundamentally shift how you relate to your desires and the world around you. Let's begin. Part 1. Decoding the paradox. Why does wanting more push it away? Let's first dissect this core paradox with a more powerful lens. Why does that intense, sometimes frantic wanting often sabotage our efforts? The tangible energy of desperation. We discussed an energy, but let's unpack that. From a psychological perspective, intense wanting often translates into observable behaviors and subtle cues. Think about micro-expressions, body language, leaning in too much, fidgeting, tense posture, and tone of voice, higher pitch, faster speech, pleading undertones. Even through emails or texts, word choice and frequency can convey neediness. Others pick up on this vibe. It feels like pressure, like the interaction isn't balanced. It triggers their own defense mechanisms or discomfort. They might not consciously think, this person is desperate, but feel something is off, creating distance. The sales analogy. The desperate salesperson doesn't just look urgent. They might talk over the customer, push features aggressively without listening to needs, offer discounts too quickly, signaling a lack of confidence in value, or follow up incessantly. This repels customers who feel pressured or sense weakness. Conversely, the confident salesperson focuses on understanding the customer's needs, builds rapport, presents value calmly, and respects the customer's decision-making process. They create pull, not push. The dating analogy. The overly eager dater might text constantly, agree too readily with everything, overlook red flags, try too hard to impress, or become possessive quickly. This smothers the other person and signals a lack of self-worth or inner security, which is generally unattractive. True attraction often blossoms in space, where both individuals feel free and appreciated for who they are, not for filling a void in the other's life. Scientific angle. Mirror neurons. Our brains have mirror neurons, which fire when we perform an action and when we observe someone else perform that action. They also play a role in empathy and understanding others' emotional states. When someone is projecting intense anxiety or desperation, our mirror neurons can subtly pick up on that state, making us feel uncomfortable or anxious in response, prompting a desire to withdraw. The Buddha's teaching on craving. The Buddhist concept of dukkha, often translated as suffering, dissatisfaction, or stress, is intrinsically linked to tanha, craving, thirst, desire. The teaching isn't that desire itself is bad. Still, that attachment to desire, the clinging, the needing it to be a certain way for us to be happy, is the root cause of suffering. When we desperately need an outcome, we set ourselves up for suffering if it doesn't materialize. This suffering state is the tense, something wrong, tense instance. Negative energy that pushes things away. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy rooted in attachment. Many books, like Thich Nhat Hanh's The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching, explain this concept beautifully and accessibly. Disrupting natural rhythms and flow. Life, like nature, has rhythms. Think of the tides, the seasons, the natural unfolding of growth. Desperation is an attempt to force things, to speed up or manipulate these natural rhythms according to our ego's timeline. It's like constantly digging up a seed to see if it's growing. The interference disrupts the natural process. Many wisdom traditions emphasize divine timing or trusting the process. Desperation is the opposite of trust. It's a statement of disbelief in the natural unfolding or one's ability to handle whatever comes. Concepts like flow state, popularized by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi in his book Flow, describe peak experience happening when we're fully immersed and engaged, often letting go of rigid outcomes, the opposite of desperate striving. The psychology of scarcity mindset. Intense wanting often stems from a deep-seated belief in scarcity, the feeling that there isn't enough to go around, not enough love, money, opportunity. This mindset makes us tightly grasp whatever we need, fearing it will disappear. Ironically, this scarcity mindset, explored in books like Scarcity, Why Having Too Little Means So Much by Sendhil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir, actually impairs cognitive function, leading to poorer decisions and reinforcing the lack of fear. We become so focused on the perceived lack that we miss opportunities. Focusing on lack. Let's amplify this point. Every moment spent obsessing over not having something sends a powerful message to your subconscious. This is my reality, lack. Your subconscious, whose job is to align your reality with your dominant beliefs, works to maintain that state. It filters your perception, highlighting evidence of lack and downplaying evidence of abundance or potential. It's like tuning a radio to the lack station. That's all you'll hear. Books on the law of attraction often stress shifting focus to gratitude and the feeling of having already received, precisely to counteract this mechanism. Unconscious fear of receiving. This is a subtle but powerful factor. Could it be that on some level, we're afraid of actually getting what we want? Afraid of the responsibility? Afraid we don't deserve it? Afraid it will change our lives in ways we can't handle? This internal conflict can lead to self-sabotaging behaviors disguised as intense wanting. We push it away because receiving it feels unsafe. Exploring limiting beliefs, perhaps through journaling or therapy, can uncover these hidden fears. Books like Gay Hendricks' The Big Leap discuss the concept of the upper limit problem, where we subconsciously sabotage ourselves when we experience too much success or happiness because it exceeds our internal thermostat setting. Understanding these deeper layers helps us see that the problem isn't desire itself, but the quality of that desire. When it becomes tinged with fear, lack, attachment, and desperation, it inevitably creates pushback, both internally and externally. Part 2. The Golden Key. the power of calmness. Now let's delve deeper into the antidote, calmness, or what Eastern philosophies might call equanimity. It's not just being chill, it's a profound inner state with significant power. Defining calmness versus indifference. Indifference stems from apathy, resignation, or a lack of care. It's passive disengagement. It might sound like, "I don't care either way," but it often masks feelings of helplessness or cynicism. It lacks the vital energy of engagement. Calm detachment. This is an active state of inner balance and presence coupled with engaged action. It's caring deeply about your intention and effort, but releasing attachment to the specific form or timing of the outcome. It involves trust in yourself, life, and a more extensive process. It's characterized by clarity, stability, and resilience, even amidst challenges. It's the state described in the Bhagavad Gita, where one acts without attachment to the fruits of action. Books like Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now are essentially guides to cultivating this present moment awareness, which is the bedrock of calmness. Think of a skilled surfer. They aren't indifferent to the waves. They are highly attuned, engaged, and making constant adjustments. But they don't fight the ocean's power. They ride the wave with focused calm, accepting its ebbs and flows, detached from needing the wave to be a certain way. The physiology of calm versus stress. This isn't just philosophical, it's biological. Desperation, stress response, triggers the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. Your body floods with cortisol and adrenaline. Heart rate increases, breathing becomes shallow, digestion slows, muscles tense, and rational thinking diminishes. The prefrontal cortex goes offline. Chronic stress leads to burnout, impaired immunity, anxiety, and poor decision-making. This state literally repels well-being. Calmness response activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, or tend and befriend response. The heart rate slows, breathing deepens, muscles relax, and digestion functions appropriately. Hormones like DHEA counteracts cortisol, oxytocin, bonding hormone, and serotonin, mood stabilizer, are released. This state promotes healing, clear thinking, creativity, empathy, and connection. It's a state of physiological attraction for good things. Techniques like deep breathing directly stimulate the vagus nerve, a key component of the parasympathetic system. Stoicism and emotional regulation. Ancient Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius were masters of cultivating inner calm amidst external chaos. Their core idea wasn't to suppress emotions, but to understand that our suffering comes not from events, but from our judgments about them. Focus on what you control. They emphasize distinguishing between what's within our control, thoughts, judgments, actions, responses, and what's not, external events, other people's actions, outcomes. Calmness comes from focusing effort entirely on what we can control and accepting what we cannot with equanimity. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is a timeless journal reflecting this practice. Premeditation malorum, negative visualization. Paradoxically, Stoics practiced contemplating potential adverse outcomes, not to dwell on them, but to mentally prepare, appreciate what they have now, and reduce the shock and emotional reactivity if things go wrong, thus preserving inner calm. Cultivating calmness, practical toolkit. Mindfulness meditation, the cornerstone practice. Regularly sitting and observing your breath, thoughts, and bodily sensations without judgment trains the mind to be less reactive and more present. Apps like Headspace, Calm, or Insight Timer offer guided meditations. Even 5 to 10 minutes daily makes a difference. Loving kindness meditation, Metta, specifically cultivates feelings of warmth and connection, counteracting stress and isolation. Breathwork techniques. Conscious breathing is a direct pathway to the parasympathetic nervous system. Box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. Repeat. Used by Navy SEALs to stay calm under pressure. 4-7-8 breathing. Dr. Andrew Weil. Inhale quietly through the nose for 4. Hold the breath for 7, and exhale forcefully through the mouth for 8. Repeat 3 to 4 times. Excellent for anxiety and sleep. Body scan meditations. Bringing mindful awareness systematically through the body helps release physical tension you might not even be aware of. Promoting relaxation. Spending time in nature. Studies show that being in nature reduces cortisol levels, lowers blood pressure, and improves mood. Even looking at pictures of nature can help. Journaling for release. Write down your anxieties, fears, and desperate thoughts. Getting them out of your head and onto paper can diminish their power and provide clarity. Then, consciously write down statements of trust and release. Setting intentions. Releasing attachments. Start your day or a specific task by setting a clear intention for your effort and attitude, but consciously release the need for a specific outcome. Maybe even say aloud, "I intend to do my best, and I release the outcome to unfold as it will." Calmness isn't a passive state, it's a cultivated strength. It's the fertile ground from which effective action and positive attraction grow. It allows you to navigate life's uncertainties gracefully and resiliently, making you far more magnetic to the good you desire. Part 3. The power of acceptance, the gateway to freedom. Acceptance is often misunderstood as a weakness, but as Carl Jung stated, it's the prerequisite for change. Let's explore its profound power more deeply. Acceptance versus resignation versus approval. Resignation. This is giving up hope and feeling powerless. Nothing can be done, so why bother? It's passive despair. Approval. This means you like or agree with the situation. It's good that this is happening. Acceptance. This is simply acknowledging reality as it is right now, without judgment or resistance, whether you like it or not. It's saying, "This is the situation I am currently facing." It doesn't mean you won't work to change it. It means you stop fighting the fact that it exists. It's the difference between standing in the rain, wishing it wasn't raining, resistance, and acknowledging it is raining, so you can decide to get an umbrella or find shelter. Acceptance and action. Radical acceptance from dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. Developed by Marsha Linehan, you can find her work in books like Building a Life Worth Living. Radical acceptance is about fully accepting reality with your whole being, mind, body, and spirit, especially when the reality is painful or unwanted. It's recognizing that fighting reality only prolongs suffering. It's not forgiveness, accepting that something painful happened. Example, mistreatment by someone doesn't mean you condone it or have to forgive the person. It means accepting that it occurred so you can begin to heal and decide how to move forward rather than staying stuck in rage or denial about the event. Accepting emotions. A considerable part of acceptance is allowing yourself to feel all emotions, sadness, anger, fear, grief, without judging them as bad or trying to immediately push them away. Emotions are information. Accepting them allows them to process and pass through, rather than getting stuck and festering. Tara Brach's book, Radical Acceptance, explores this beautifully. What you resist persists. The psychological mechanism. Resistance creates internal tension. Think of it like psychological friction. This friction consumes enormous mental and emotional energy. Furthermore, constantly pushing against a thought or feeling, "I mustn't feel sad," keeps your attention focused on that thought or feeling, ironically strengthening its neural pathways. Acceptance, conversely, removes the fuel source. It loses its charge and intensity when you stop fighting the thought or feeling. Cognitive diffusion from acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, developed by Stephen C. Hayes. See his book, Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life. ACT teaches techniques to diffuse from complex thoughts and feelings. Instead of battling them, you learn to see them as thoughts or feelings, words, sensations, rather than literal truths or commands. Saying, "I'm having the thought that I'm a failure," instead of "I am a failure," creates distance and reduces resistance, fostering acceptance. Acceptance as the foundation for change. It seems paradoxical, but only by fully accepting where you are can you effectively plan the journey to where you want to be. If you're lost but refuse to accept your current location on the map, I can't be here, you can't plot a course home. Accepting, okay, I am here, allows you to see clearly and take purposeful steps in the right direction. Accepting you have a problem, e.g. addiction, procrastination, is the non-negotiable first step towards solving it. Practicing acceptance. Mindful observation. Notice resistance in your body, tension, clenched jaw and mind, judgmental thoughts. Acknowledge it without judgment. Resistance is here. Turning the mind. This DBT skill involves making a conscious choice to turn towards acceptance when resistance comes up. It might need to be done repeatedly. Using accepting language. Shift from "this shouldn't be happening" to "this is happening right now." Shift from "I hate this feeling" to "I notice the feeling of sadness is present." Focusing on breath. When overwhelmed, return to the breath as an anchor in the present moment, accepting each inhale and exhale as it is. Willingness. Cultivate a willingness to experience reality as it is, even if it's uncomfortable. Ask yourself, am I willing to allow this feeling/situation to be here for this moment? Acceptance isn't about liking the unpleasant aspects of life. It's about reclaiming the enormous energy wasted in futile resistance and channeling it towards healing, growth, and constructive action. It is the doorway to inner peace and effective change. Part 4. The Law of Giving and Receiving. The currency of the universe. The idea of giving to receive can feel transactional or even superstitious to some, but let's explore the deeper psychological, energetic, and even practical mechanics behind this ancient principle. Beyond transaction, the spirit of generosity. The core misunderstanding comes if we view it as a cosmic vending machine. I put in one good deed, I expect 2 blessings back. Faithful giving, which activates this law powerfully, is rooted in a spirit of generosity, abundance, and connection, without attachment to a specific return from a specific source at a specific time. Contrast with measuring. Measuring comes from scarcity. If I give this, will I have enough left? Will they reciprocate? Is it worth it? Faithful giving comes from a place of abundance. I have enough to share. Contributing feels good. We are all connected. It trusts that the act of contribution itself enriches the giver and opens channels for abundance to flow back, often in unexpected ways. The motivation matters. Are you giving to manipulate an outcome, or are you giving because it aligns with your values of kindness, contribution, or connection? The intention behind the act profoundly shapes the energy and the results. Giving with resentment or obligation doesn't carry the same positive resonance. The psychology of altruism and the helper's high. Science backs up the benefits of giving. Acts of kindness and generosity have been shown to release endorphins, triggering joy and satisfaction, sometimes called the helper's high. Reduce stress hormones, lowering cortisol levels, increase oxytocin, promoting feelings of trust, bonding, and connection. Boost self-esteem, feeling helpful and making a difference enhances our sense of worth. Foster social connection. Giving strengthens community ties, which is crucial for well-being. Shift focus outward, moving attention away from personal problems towards helping others can provide perspective and reduce rumination. Books like The How of Happiness by Sonia Lubomirsky detail research showing that practicing kindness and generosity is one of the most effective ways to increase personal happiness levels. Abundance as flow, not hoarding. Abundance being circulation is key. Hoarding, money, possessions, knowledge, or even affection, out of fear creates stagnation. It dams the river, letting things flow through you, receiving graciously and giving freely, keeps the energy moving. The money example. Giving away money doesn't magically make cash appear out of thin air based on superstition. However, practicing generosity with finances can break the scarcity mindset. Acting as if you have enough to share starts rewiring the belief that you don't. Cultivate trust. It requires trusting that more will come, fostering a more abundant mindset. Strengthen social networks. Financial generosity can build goodwill and reciprocal relationships, though that shouldn't be the sole motivation. Create energetic space. Releasing attachment to money can paradoxically make you more open to receiving it without desperation. Align with values. If generosity is a value, acting on it brings integrity and fulfillment, which are forms of abundance themselves. Consider Lynn Twist's book, The Soul of Money, which explores transforming our relationship with money from scarcity and fear to sufficiency and flow, emphasizing the power of purposefully directing resources. Types of giving. It's not just about money. Time and attention. Truly listen to someone, be present, and offer your time to help. Skills and talents. Sharing your expertise, mentoring someone, volunteering your professional skills. Kindness and compassion. Offering a kind word, a supportive gesture, understanding. And forgiveness. Appreciation and praise. Generously acknowledging the good in others. Knowledge and information. Sharing helpful resources or insights. Overcoming blocks to giving. Fear of not having enough. Start small. Give something that feels comfortable. Challenge the scarcity belief directly. Feeling undeserving yourself. Sometimes we block giving because we don't feel worthy of receiving. Work on self-worth alongside generosity. Past hurts. Being taken advantage of can make us wary. Practice discernment, but don't let past hurts close your heart completely. Set healthy boundaries. The principle of interconnectedness. Many spiritual traditions emphasize that we are all interconnected, like the African concept of Ubuntu. I am because we are. When you give, you are, in a sense, giving to another part of yourself, contributing to the well-being of the whole system you are a part of. This understanding shifts giving from a transaction to an act of participating in the wholeness of life. Giving freely, without measuring or expecting a specific tit-for-tat return, shifts your energetic and psychological state from lack to abundance, from isolation to connection. It aligns you with the natural flow of universal currency, making you a clearer channel for receiving the goods you desire. Part 5. Mastering your mind. Positive thinking and subconscious power. This is where we truly delve into how our inner world shapes our outer reality. It's not magic, but it is profound psychology and neuroscience. The conscious versus subconscious partnership. Think of the conscious mind as the ship's captain, setting the destination and giving orders. The subconscious mind is the vast, powerful crew operating below deck, running the engines, managing the systems, and following the captain's most consistent orders. Subconscious programming. As the driving example showed, repetition turns conscious effort into automatic subconscious programs. Habits. This includes physical actions, emotional responses, belief systems, and habitual thought patterns. These programs run 95% or more of our lives on autopilot. The power of beliefs. Our core beliefs, primarily formed in childhood and often residing in the subconscious, act as filters for reality. If you subconsciously believe, "I'm not worthy of love," you'll interpret neutral events through that filter, overlook positive signals, and engage in behaviors that push love away, confirming the belief. Dr. Bruce Lipton's work, detailed in The Biology of Belief, explores how beliefs can influence our biology down to the cellular level. Confirmation bias, the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. Your subconscious actively seeks evidence to prove your dominant thoughts right. If you think life is hard, you'll notice every difficulty and overlook moments of ease. Positive thinking, beyond wishful thinking. It's not about ignoring reality. Effective positive thinking isn't about pretending problems don't exist. That's denial or toxic positivity. It's about acknowledging challenges, acceptance, and consciously focusing your mental energy on solutions, possibilities, strengths, and desired outcomes rather than dwelling on the negative. It's about constructive thinking. Neuroplasticity. This is the scientific foundation. Our brains are not fixed. They constantly reorganize themselves by forming new neural connections throughout life. You strengthen that neural pathway whenever you repeat a thought or behavior. Consistent positive thinking, affirmation, and visualization rewire your brain over time, making positive responses more automatic. Books like The Brain That Changes Itself by Norman Doidge provide fascinating examples. Impact on physiology. As discussed under Calmness, positive emotions associated with optimistic thinking trigger the release of beneficial neurochemicals, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, reducing stress and improving physical health and cognitive function. Barbara Fredrickson's Broaden and Build theory suggests positive emotions broaden our awareness and encourage novel thoughts and actions, building our personal resources over time. Practical techniques for reprogramming. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT principles. CBT is a well-established therapy focused on identifying and changing unhelpful thinking patterns, cognitive distortions, and behaviors. Identify distortions. Learn to recognize common errors like catastrophizing, expecting the worst, personalization, blaming yourself for everything, black and white thinking, overgeneralization, etc. David Burns' Feeling Good, The New Mood Therapy is a classic resource. Challenge and reframe. Actively question negative thoughts. Ask, is this 100% true? What's the evidence against it? What's a more balanced perspective? Reframe the thought into something more realistic and constructive. Neuro-linguistic programming, NLP techniques. NLP offers tools for changing thought patterns and behaviors. Reframing, changing the meaning you assign to an event. Seeing a failure as a learning opportunity. Anchoring, associating a specific positive feeling with a physical trigger, like touching your thumb and finger, to access that state on demand. Affirmations done right. Present tense. I am, not I will be. Positive language. State what you want, not what you don't want. I am calm and confident versus I am not anxious. Emotionally charged. Feel the feeling of the affirmation as you say it. Repetition without feeling is less effective. Believable steps. Start with somewhat believable affirmations and gradually build up. Jumping from I'm broke to I am a multimillionaire might create internal conflict. Try I am capable of managing my money well, or I am open to new income streams. Visualization done right. Multisensory. Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste in your desired reality. Focus on the feeling. The most crucial part is evoking the emotion of achieving your goal. Joy, peace, gratitude, love. Consistency. Practice regularly, even for a few minutes daily. Mind movies and vision boards. Visual tools that help keep your desired outcomes top of mind and engage your subconscious through imagery. The discipline and patience factor. Reprogramming decades of negative thought patterns takes consistent effort over time. It's like turning a large ship. It doesn't pivot instantly. Celebrate small shifts. Be patient and persistent. Don't expect miracles overnight, but trust that consistent mental cultivation will yield results. Carol Dweck's work on mindset, growth versus fixed, is highly relevant here. Adopting a growth mindset means believing your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, which is essential for sticking with positive mental reprogramming. Mastering your mind isn't about controlling every thought. That's impossible. It's about consciously choosing where you direct your focus, consistently cultivating constructive patterns, understanding your subconscious programming, and patiently rewiring your brain for greater happiness and success. Part 6. The Foundation. Nuances of Cultivating Gratitude. Gratitude seems simple, yet its impact is profound. Let's explore its subtleties and the science behind its power. Beyond politeness, gratitude as an inner state. True gratitude isn't just saying thank you. It's an internal orientation, a conscious appreciation for the good things in one's life, big and small. It's a felt sense of thankfulness. Shifting the default negativity bias. Our brains evolved with a negativity bias. We're wired to pay more attention to threats and problems for survival. Gratitude practice is a conscious countermeasure, intentionally training our attention to notice and appreciate the positive, balancing out this innate bias. From lack to abundance, gratitude fundamentally shifts our perception of resources. When we focus on what we have, even simple things, a roof over our head, clean water, a supportive friend, we feel more abundant, regardless of objective circumstances. This feeling state, as discussed, is magnetic. The science of gratitude. Research led by pioneers like Dr. Robert Emmons, author of Thanks, How the New Science of Gratitude Can Make You Happier, and Dr. Martin Seligman, a founder of positive psychology, has demonstrated concrete benefits. Increased happiness and life satisfaction, consistently linked to higher positive emotions and overall well-being. Reduced materialism. Grateful people tend to place less importance on material possessions. Improved physical health, associated with better sleep, lower blood pressure, stronger immune function, and fewer physical symptoms. Enhanced empathy and pro-social behavior. Gratitude fosters kindness, compassion, and a greater willingness to help others. Increased resilience. Grateful individuals cope better with stress and quickly recover from adversity. They are better able to find benefits even in challenging experiences. Neural changes. Brain imaging studies suggest gratitude practice activates brain regions associated with morality, reward, and social bonding, like the medial prefrontal cortex. Deeper gratitude practices. Gratitude journaling. Don't list things. Elaborate on why you're grateful. What specific positive feelings does this bring? Go for depth over quantity. Try different themes, people you're grateful for, experiences, simple pleasures, and challenges you've overcome. Gratitude visit. Write a detailed letter expressing your gratitude to someone who has significantly impacted your life, but whom you've never properly thanked. Then, arrange to visit them and read the letter aloud. Profoundly impactful for both parties. Gratitude jar. Throughout the week or month, write down moments of gratitude on small notes and place them in a jar. Periodically, read through them. Mindful gratitude walk. Go for a walk explicitly intending to notice things you're grateful for in your environment. Nature, architecture, people, sounds. Counting blessings meditation. Sit quietly and mentally list things you are grateful for, allowing the feeling of appreciation to fill you. Gratitude partner. Share 3 things you're grateful for daily with a friend or family member. Gratitude in difficult times. Feeling grateful when things are tough might seem impossible. However, even in hardship, we can often find something to be grateful for. The support of one person, a lesson learned, inner strength discovered, the simple fact of being alive. This doesn't invalidate the pain, but provides an anchor of perspective and resilience, preventing us from being entirely consumed by negativity. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, written after surviving the Holocaust, is a powerful testament to finding meaning and gratitude, even in the darkest circumstances, by focusing on inner freedom and purpose. Avoiding gratitude bypass. Be mindful not to use gratitude to suppress or deny legitimate, difficult emotions. It's okay to feel sad and grateful simultaneously. Genuine gratitude integrates the whole human experience. Gratitude isn't just a pleasant emotion. It's a powerful practice that reshapes our brain, improves our health, strengthens our relationships, and fundamentally alters our perception of life from lack to abundance, making it a cornerstone for attracting more good. Part 7. The Power of Perception, Choosing Your Reality Lens. How we see the world profoundly influences how we experience and interact. Mastering perception is key to navigating relationships and circumstances effectively. Perception is projection. A core concept in psychology is that we often project our internal states, beliefs, fears, and past experiences onto the external world. What we see in others often reflects what's inside us. The Fred and Mary example. Initially, Fred was likely projecting his own desire for connection and positive feelings, causing him to interpret Mary's actions through a lens of affection and tolerance. Later, perhaps projecting accumulated frustrations or taking her for granted, his lens shifted to criticism, seeing the same actions as evidence of flaws. It wasn't Mary who changed fundamentally, but Fred's internal filter. Self-awareness is key. Recognizing our biases, moods, and unresolved issues is crucial to seeing others and situations more clearly. When you feel a strong adverse reaction to someone, ask, what might this be triggering in me? Does this person remind me of someone or some situation from my past? Cognitive biases shaping perception. Our brains use mental shortcuts, heuristics, to process information quickly, but these can lead to systematic errors in thinking. Cognitive biases. Becoming aware of them helps us perceive more accurately. Confirmation bias. We actively seek and favor information confirming our beliefs about people or situations, ignoring contradictory evidence. If you think your boss dislikes you, you'll notice every slight frown and dismiss positive feedback. Negativity bias. We give more weight to negative experiences and information than positive ones. One criticism often overshadows 10 compliments. Halo horn effect. Our overall impression of a person, good or bad, influences how we judge their specific traits. If we like someone, halo, we might overlook their flaws. If we dislike them, horns, we might interpret neutral actions negatively. Fundamental attribution error. We tend to attribute others' negative behaviors to their internal character. He's lazy, while attributing our own negative behaviors to external circumstances. I was late because of traffic. Choosing your focus. The two lists. The wife's list versus widow's list metaphor is a powerful daily practice. Actively look for the good. Make a conscious effort daily to notice and appreciate the positive qualities and actions of people around you, especially those you live or work closely with. Tell them what you appreciate. This changes your perception and can positively influence your behavior. Pygmalion effect, self-fulfilling prophecy. Our expectations can influence others' actions. Reframing challenges. When facing difficulties, consciously look for the potential lesson, the hidden opportunity, and the strength being developed. Ask, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? What's the potential silver lining? This doesn't negate the difficulty, but shifts your perceptual focus towards growth. The narrative we tell ourselves. We constantly construct stories about our lives, others, and events. Are you telling a story of victimhood or one of resilience? A story of lack or one of potential? You have the power to choose and edit your narrative. Focusing on strengths, past successes, and future possibilities creates a more empowering internal reality. Byron Katie's The Work, detailed in her book Loving What Is, offers a simple yet profound method of questioning stressful thoughts and shifting perception by asking, is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react when you believe that thought? Who would you be without the thought? Empathy as a perception tool. Trying to genuinely understand another person's perspective, feelings, and intentions, even if you disagree with their actions, can dramatically shift your perception from judgment to compassion, improving communication and connection. Practicing perceptual shifts. Benefit of the doubt default. Train yourself to initially assume positive or neutral intent behind others' actions, rather than jumping to negative conclusions. Perspective-taking exercise. Intentionally try to see a situation from another person's point of view, or even from a neutral observer's standpoint. Challenge assumptions. When you form a quick judgment, pause and ask, what assumptions am I making? What else could be true? Focus on strengths. Regularly identify and acknowledge your own strengths and the strengths of others. Mastering perception isn't about pretending things are different than they are. It's about recognizing that our view is inherently subjective and biased, and consciously focusing our attention and interpreting events to foster understanding, connection, growth, and well-being. It's about becoming the deliberate author of your own experience. Part 8. Integrating self-compassion, the missing piece. Self-compassion is deeply intertwined with acceptance, calmness, and positive thinking, acting as a crucial catalyst. Being calm, accepting, or genuinely positive is hard if you constantly beat yourself up. What is self-compassion? Pioneered by Dr. Kristin Neff, see her book Self-Compassion, The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding you would offer a dear friend when you are suffering, fail, or feel inadequate. It has 3 core components: self-kindness versus self-judgment, being gentle and understanding with yourself rather than harshly critical, recognizing that mistakes and difficulties are part of being human, common humanity versus isolation, seeing your experiences as part of the more significant human experience rather than feeling isolated and alone in your suffering, realizing that everyone struggles, everyone feels inadequate sometimes. Mindfulness versus over-identification. Observing your painful thoughts and feelings clearly, without exaggerating or getting lost. Neither suppressing nor dramatizing your pain. Why is self-compassion essential? Reduces fear of failure. Knowing you'll treat yourself kindly even if you fail makes you more willing to take risks and pursue goals. It undermines the desperation born from fear of self-criticism. Promotes resilience. Self-compassionate people bounce back more quickly from adversity, because they don't add layers of self-blame to the initial difficulty. Motivates improvement. Contrary to fears of complacency, self-compassion fosters a desire for growth from a place of care rather than self-hatred. You want to learn and do better because you care about your well-being. Supports acceptance. It's easier to accept brutal realities or personal flaws when approaching them with kindness rather than harsh judgment. Enhances well-being. Strongly linked to reduced anxiety, depression, and stress, and increased happiness and life satisfaction. Practicing self-compassion. Comforting touch. Placing a hand over your heart or gently hugging yourself during difficult moments activates the soothing parasympathetic nervous system. Kind self-talk. Consciously change your inner critic's voice to a kinder, more supportive tone. Ask yourself, what would I say to a friend in this situation? Self-compassion break. In a moment of suffering, acknowledge the pain. This is a moment of suffering. Connect with common humanity. Suffering is part of life. Others feel this way too. And offer yourself kindness. May I be kind to myself. Writing a compassionate letter. Write a letter to yourself from the perspective of an unconditionally loving and compassionate friend, offering understanding and support for a current struggle. Integrating self-compassion provides the nurturing inner environment needed for all the other principles, calmness, acceptance, positive change, to truly take root and flourish. It stops the internal war that often fuels external desperation. Wow, friends, we have genuinely journeyed deep today, right? We've gone beyond asking why wanting pushes things away and explored a whole ecosystem of interconnected principles governing how our inner world shapes our outer reality. From understanding the repelling energy of desperation and the power of calm detachment, to embracing the freedom found in radical acceptance and activating the universal flow through generous giving, we delved into the mechanics of reprogramming our subconscious mind with disciplined, positive thinking, grounded ourselves in the foundational practice of gratitude, learned to consciously choose our perception, and finally, wrapped it all in the essential warmth of self-compassion. The core message woven through all these insights, drawn from countless books and wisdom traditions, is this: while we cannot always control external events, we have immense power over our internal state, our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and focus. By cultivating inner peace, acceptance, kindness to self and others, and an abundant mindset, we naturally shift our vibration, becoming magnets for the experiences, relationships, and successes that align with our highest good. We move from frantic pushing to graceful allowing, from resistance to flow. This isn't about becoming passive, it's about becoming powerfully present and acting from a place of alignment rather than fear or lack. Because we covered so much ground today in this extended masterclass format, please don't feel overwhelmed. Remember, this is a lifelong practice. The invitation is to choose one insight, one technique that resonates most strongly with you right now, and begin integrating it into your life. It could be starting a 5-minute gratitude practice, challenging one negative thought pattern daily, practicing a self-compassion break when stressed, or consciously choosing to give more freely. Every small, consistent step matters. This deep dive has offered you valuable perspectives and practical tools. Exploring these transformative ideas together is what BookSmart Insights is all about. If you found significant value in this comprehensive exploration, please show your support by hitting that like button. It helps the channel. And if you haven't already, subscribe to BookSmart Insights and click the notification bell so you don't miss future deep dives into the wisdom held within great books. After this extended session, I'd be especially interested to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway? Is there a specific concept you'd like to explore further in a future video? Or share a book that has profoundly impacted your understanding of these principles? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation. Thank you for your time, attention, and commitment to growth. May you navigate your desires with wisdom and grace. Cultivate profound inner peace and effortlessly attract all the goodness you deserve. See you in the following videos.